What's up, everyone? Welcome to Sideline, the Baseline with your hosts, MB and Klew.
Klew.
Man, we back, baby. We back. We had an awesome show, MB, on Monday. I still am thinking about how those huge nuggets Ray dropped on us, MB, and especially during the time of, we had the end of the school year. And he was talking about his son going through the recruiting process, but him just going through that time that you just went through a year ago, with Mackenzie, just like, man, they leaving.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, and he
No
said,
doubt.
and I think at the end of the show, if I remember correctly, he said, I'm about after I get all here, I'm gonna go in there in the room with him and just look at him, just stare at him. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
So you tell us from your perspective, it'll be that bring back memories for you and Mackenzie, or
Yeah, it made me also think about like Carson Palmer, what he talked
right,
about the value. He said, "Man, if my kids walk in right now and call me, I got to get off,"
right,
And so yeah, it just made me think about it because you can have some regrets as well if a lot of times I think about stuff when Mackenzie be gone. I was like, man, shoulda, coulda, woulda, especially when he said about usually like boys when they leave, they don't usually come back home.
right,
And I was like, wow, that was powerful. It made me think about, as far as, obviously us go to college and we end up getting drafted by, getting drafted. But I basically didn't, I moved out my parents'
think
house,
about
obviously. So it
yeah,
just made me think about that. So, I mean, right off as soon as we got off the show, I was like, grab my boys and, hey, let's go get some eat. You know what I'm saying? You're trying to get in. It took me right there. I was like, man, let me go. Because for me, I'm more the disciplinary. I'm the more black and white on top of them. So it just made me think more like, man, you gotta just you gotta love them, man. They gotta know that you love them no matter what. And I always say, people don't care how much you know till you know how much you care. So you just gotta make sure,
absolutely.
especially with your kids, man. Life is too short, man.
Right. I was thinking about your three boys as well, thinking if they hold court, then you ain't seeing them no more after they get this. They drop by every now and then. If they hold court to what Ray was saying about,
Mm-hmm.
kind of boys not coming back. So you'll see Mackenzie, but evidently you don't see the boys not as frequent. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You
Yeah.
gotta go visit it. Hey, LB, they
Mm-hmm.
ain't stopping you from pulling up, though, is it? You still gonna show up to them. Oh man. So yeah,
No
so I
doubt.
was thinking about that. Obviously, first, hot off the press, man. LB, should the Lakers be
Yo,
hitting the panic button right now, baby?
your Lakers, baby, your Lakers, man. You tell me you're
Uh-huh.
a Laker, you're a diehard Lakers. So uh, for me, it's getting close because you got what, 6 more regular season games to go, and then with LeBron been out, and then my man AD, he didn't even finish the game against the Clippers. His back started tightening up on him, but
Right, right.
he said he's going to play tonight against Portland Trailblazer.
Portland.
I mean,
Yeah,
you got what, three starters is out, and then the fourth
right,
guy, Tucker, he's hurt. He's been
right.
out. And then what, they lost 7 out of they lost 7 games out of the last 9. So, but man, whenever you got LeBron, if you get a healthy LeBron and a healthy AD, man, you got a chance. But unfortunately, they're not healthy yet. So should you hit the panic button?
Right.
Not just yet, because Bron got a plan. Whenever you got LeBron, man, you got a plan, and he knows how to take care of his body. Even though he said, man, I'll never be 100% again, but still, Bron, you trust, man. So I'm on the fence. So I'm gonna say nah, because you got King James and the King we trust, baby.
Well, you're a brilliant guy, man. But I didn't,
I'm a brilliant
obviously,
guy.
yeah, yeah, because what you said in LeBron we trust. So you brilliant. You hit the nail on the head. But I didn't want to go first, and I didn't want to speak on it, MB, because everybody know I'm a Laker fan. That's my guy. That's my team. So from this side, you gonna get the truth, but you may think it's only because they're my team. But our bench grew. Our bench has been forced in a position to create a very deep team for us because of injuries. Now, obviously, we got to be healthy come playoff time. Like, that's bottom line. Like, I can talk all day long, but if we ain't healthy playoff time, then we're in trouble. So, no, the panic button right now, who cares? We end up 10th. Well, I guarantee you, I I know some teams don't want us to be finish seventh or eighth in this thing, and I'm counting after the play-in game, MB. Because the play-in game, 9 versus 10, 7 versus 8, and then those two go in as the last 7th and 8th teams, right? So because of that, I'm saying the final, even if we fall all the way to 10 and we end up being the 8th final seed, Phoenix don't want to see that. Hey, they don't want them problems. Okay, so that's the issue right there. All we got to do is limp in, and the NBA. I know the Boo Birds gonna come out and say the NBA rigged again because they pulled this because the Lakers fell off and let them be in anyway. Because Chris Webber, man, I watched him on All the Smoke. He had the nerve to say, man, I don't usually talk like this and stuff, but when the Lakers beat us in that playoff game, hey, game 6, he's still going to say they cheated. When
That's what he said.
when he was in Sacramento, and they had us down. Remember the ball gets kicked out, Robert Horry knocks down. Yeah,
They shot Horry.
listen, because of the foul situation down the stretch, they blew the whistle every time for us. Well, we earned them. We got Shaq and Kobe, man. We gonna get that whistle. And so he still goes to that game. But now he did admit this though, MB, because he said both when he messed with Shaq about it and Kobe, they turn around to him and say, "Well, win game 7." Because see, that was game 6, MB. So he had another opportunity to close it out, and we ran through him.
Right.
So I'm just saying all this to say, man, you don't want us. Actually, I think it's bad for the league that we're down like this. I'm gonna just be honest with you, MB. I think this is no good for the league for us to have gotten injured, hurt, because I mean, just take the situation right now, MB, what the playoff picture looks like right now. If you look at that playoff picture right now, MB, if it was going today, you got us sitting at, let me move this.
Y'all at 6.
Yeah.
You're at 6.
We sitting at 6, but do you see what happened, MB?
And with a
Go ahead.
You say what?
I said, do you see
I say right
who
now
we
the
matched
Lakers
up with
at 6.
right now? Playing who?
Well, the thing about it, they'll play who the 3rd seed, the Clippers.
The Clippers. You see what I'm saying?
Clippers. Yeah.
We put them away. We ruined all that talk that they wanted to see in the Western Conference Finals. You see what I'm saying? We knocked that out first round. Okay. And then we move on, MB. The only other, you look at the Jazz and the Phoenix Suns that are sitting, at the top of our situation, right? Our next game.
I mean it's a battle between the Suns and the Utah for the number 1 spot, right?
Right. Neither one. That's a mismatch either way. We see them, all of a sudden, we put out the best team, really. With Jamal Murray gone, y'all, let's not even play. And y'all know Denver. I'm a Denver fan. I really like. See, my second team, I get to change. I get to pull a pack jam, MB. I get to pull a pack jam. With my second team because I'm just a fan. Like I get to be a fan weather. I like them.
Right,
I
right,
like their players.
right.
But Denver lost Paul Murray. Be honest with you, man. That's the only team. And again, if you had Jamal Murray and then Michael Porter Jr. that's shooting lights out, I'm afraid of them. There's nobody else I'm afraid of. Like we kill the Clippers, and it's like we just showing up, man. We just showing up for the rest of the series. We knock off the toughest matchup in the first round. So that's why I said this is bad for the NBA. This ain't bad for us. This actually sets us off to have a better championship run, MB, being lower on the block like this, not having all that pressure at the end. You know what I mean? Just like the championship last year, the West Conference final last year, Denver played their hearts out, man. And let's be honest, they weren't at full strength against us. They didn't have nothing left in the tank. They had to come all the way back. You know how it is, they'll be having to claw, fight, scratch. And then you got to prepare for a whole nother series. And they came out and spanked us game one. And I said, man, they probably ain't going to win another game. They ended up winning another one. I don't know how. But we ran through. It wasn't even close. I think, man, that's how the rest of the series is going to look. I can't look at a team, MB, in the Western Conference, and I'll keep looking over at this this matchup and think, who's going to give us a little bit of problems, MB? And so that's why I'm not worried. I think this actually sets us up to, knuckle up this first series, MB, knock the Clippers out, and then we're gonna get healthy on y'all throughout the rest of the playoffs. That's what we go. Hey, we're gonna pull a Kawhi for the rest of the playoffs. That's real. Do you know how upset people gonna be, MB, when we load managing during the playoffs? How ugly is that? How ugly is that for us? A darn championship run, and we load managing, MB. So that's what I got to say about that West.
Yeah, that's the thing. Is the Lakers' biggest competition right now is health.
Mm-hmm.
And like we said, man, you got 4 guys that's out right now, and it's matter can they get healthy when it's time to for the playoff to start. And for me, because a lot of teams in the West or in NBA right now is dealing with injuries. Utah, a lot of them. It make it sound like the NFL at this time, because usually around this time, if you ain't dealing with something's wrong, But you mentioned about the Nuggets, they dealing with that. The Mavs, they missing the unicorn again. Trailblazers experiencing some stuff early in the season. Golden State as well. Memphis. It seemed like it's a constant theme, and it bleeds over to the East a little bit as well, but it's more predominant in the West. But like I say, the Lakers, their biggest issue or their toughest competition is going to be their health. Can they get back healthy? I'm not concerned about LeBron and AD missing time because they got their great leaders. They showed that in the bubble last year, just the difference in their leadership skill, and they can mesh with Drummond. But it's just, can they get healthy, and be ready to go? Because that's their biggest competition. And then, like I mentioned, initially we had this conversation. I think it was at the time they was around 4th or 5th seed. So I told you, I said my biggest threat with the Lakers would be the Nuggets, and this before Jamal Murray got hurt.
Right.
And that's consistent. But here's the thing, though, right? Because they're playing Portland twice this week, and so if they lose, then now they go down to 7. Then now they're going to be part of the play-in game and all that stuff, So it's not too many games. So it's just the biggest thing, like I said, is just being healthy. That's the biggest kryptonite right now. Can the Lakers get healthy in time? And more importantly, can AD and LeBron get back healthy in time to be ready to go? You know?
Wow. So you saying Portland, right? Let's swap it then, MB, and let's say Portland ends up getting that final. Let's call the final playoff spot nowadays a 6 seed because that's automatic.
That's the final, yeah.
Right.
It's yeah, it's the same scenario though, because really, when you look at Utah and Sun and the Clip, I mean, you can basically. I was looking at this matchup, and I think I know what you say, but it could possibly be an upset. You know, with the lower seed beating the higher seed. You know,
right? That's what I was going to. You are absolutely correct.
So no, I know where you're going at. Yeah. So and it's just not with the Lakers. It's possibly with the Mavs, huh?
Right.
You say that? You say what?
No, I didn't say anything.
Oh no, I didn't hear what you said. It could. Oh
no, I just
yeah. So no, I agree with you. It could be an upset. Yeah, exactly. It could be an upset. I mean, it's the thing. Just because how the Lakers are, you know. I mean, when they're healthy, they're ready to go. I mean, they would have been the number one seed, you know. LeBron was playing an MVP type season and stuff like that, but the injuries, man, AD getting out, right. LeBron getting out now. So now it's definitely the injury. Can they get back healthy? That's their toughest opponent right now is health.
Right. Because if you think of all the parity is happening on the East. We haven't talked about that side, MB, but you got the Sixers, not the Nets, right now at the number one seed. And yes, they keep flip-flopping a little bit. However, you know, Kyrie ain't talking to the media right now. Kevin Durant likes coming off the bench, or maybe he don't like it. You know, they still trying to find their way. And then Milwaukee is at 3 right now. You see what I'm saying? The parity and the uncertainty is happening over in the East, and then out of nowhere, here come the New York Knicks. That some consider them to be the only team in the NBA playing defense. So you know what I mean? And they're sitting at 4. The parity, MB, and a lot of people think the Nets might not want to see them. You know, MB, they say the Nets may not want to see the New York Knicks. But you look at that East, MB, and that's actually, you know, are the series that Vegas gonna make their money on calling, MB, is out there in the East. Because I mean, who comes out of there? Is it automatic that the Knicks come out? But even the games that get up into there, you know, right now it's the Celtics and the Bucks right off the bat.
Yeah, I think the East to me is more just top heavy, while the West, because of the Lakers injuries and whatnot, and a lot of different injuries, and obviously Nets dealing with injuries as well. But the whole Western Conference is more competitive. That, like you say, a lower seed can possibly upset an higher seed. The Eastern Conference to me is more top heavy. To me, you got those top 3 teams, you know. And to me, the Sixers, the Nets, especially when you factor in, you talk about health injuries affect them, you get Harden back full strength, right? And then you got the Bucks. To me, it's those 3 teams right there. I don't see anybody below them beating them. You know, I mean, with the Celtics, they the only one that you could probably say. The Heat, they still what's the man Obadiah, who they end up trading for? He been out 14 games, and they still they doing playing. Matter of fact, just look at it. The last 2 teams that was in the NBA Finals last year, both of them possibly could be in playing situations at the 7th seed spot. You know, going into it. But
MB, don't do us like that, because our situations are completely different. Y'all whole team ain't been on our.
Oh no. I'm just saying. What you told me? I just made a comment that I say it's funny that both teams that was in the finals can be at the play-in spot. That's all.
I don't even want you saying our names in the same sentence.
There you go. So now it's just funny, but for me, I think the Eastern Conference is more top heavy with those top 3 teams. It'll be hard for any of those lower seeds to beat those top 3 seeds, especially if they're at full strength, you know? So I see that, and we got a glimpse of the Nets versus the Bucks, even though Harden wasn't there. You know, when they played them twice, and the Bucks end up just recently, the Bucks end up pulling out a little duel between the Freak and KD. right? But I think those three teams right now, even though the Knicks doing their thing, they don't have enough firepower for us to stop those guys. But like you say, they are playing defense, and that, anytime you play defense, you got a chance.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, man. Moving right along to the NFL, MB. A lot of chatter
Well,
right
hold
now.
on, hold
Actually,
on.
a
Hey,
4 o'clock. Okay. Yeah.
oh no, I wanted to ask you because one team that surprised. I know they in the playing situation. How about those Wizards, baby? Russell Westbrook telling everybody I still got some juice in me, baby.
What, 20 and 20 and 20 and 20? He trying to bring back the old Wilt Chamberlain quadruple double. I think he gonna go for that next, MB. But
Yeah,
unbelievable, a point guard with 20 boards. What he ended
yeah.
up with, like 24, I think.
Was it? Yeah, I mean
Or
he
it was either 20 boards and 24 assists or something. It was crazy.
yeah.
Like,
I'm in the yeah. Because
I
it's
know a
funny
lot of
because at the beginning of the season we was like, oh man, Father Time don't caught up with him, you know. So, but
well,
he's showing you got some in this tank.
well, I think for him it's just having to reacclimate darn near every year to a new team. Feel like now where he gonna be next year, MB? You know, I think that's what Russell Westbrook is in his career. So it's
Yeah.
like getting accustomed to his teammates and how he gonna play with them and stuff like that. I've
Mm-hmm.
never doubted, that he wouldn't be successful. He's never been a great shooter, so he was in a
Mm-hmm.
shooting slump. You know what I'm saying? Like
Mm-hmm.
besides that, he's getting buckets.
Mm-hmm.
But the Wizards, when you look at them, MB, I just think you happy for them that they're gonna get a chance. That's
Oh
it.
yeah, I mean, no, I was just yeah, I mean they 10th. I mean, they the final spot, they barely holding on. But I think, but they've been winning 10 out of 12. But I was just thinking about Westbrook, man, because just the way he kind of started playing. I mean, came on strong this year, you know?
Right, right. Absolutely. So yeah, all that'll be interesting though. But man, this we're hearing a lot of chatter, MB, and especially a 4 o'clock meeting happened today as far as that the NFL Players Association got on a call at 4 to discuss holding everyone out of voluntary mini camps. MB, so talk to us first of all. What in the world is a mini camp, and then where did voluntary word come from, and y'all getting paid all this money?
Well, it's the NFL came out with a memo. Just obviously, we talked about this before. How the players, they majority of them opt out or decide, hey, look, we're not going to do this voluntary off-season training because of COVID. Let's do what we did last year. It worked great, where we did more all virtual, and it cut down on injuries and stuff like that. So that was from the players' standpoint, they stood. Majority of them stood, came together, and it was based on each individual team came up with how they're going to approach it from a player standpoint. And then the
Right.
PA supported, and they sent out their own memo saying this. But the league came back and it was like, look, we heard what you say, but this is the off-season workout based on the CBA. This is what we could do.
Right.
We got 3 phases, right? Well, the first phase will be 4 weeks, and we'll go all phase 1. We'll go all virtual, da da da. The second phase will be some for a week, and we'll be able to phase 2, be able to come in and do some on the field training for a week. Then that third phase will be OTAs and mandatory mini camps. So, but
Okay.
the league is still pushing for mandatory mini camps. The players are pushing for all virtual, like everything, like you said, is voluntary, but it's a standstill. So then now the rookies coming in based on the article you sent, and the rookies is all obviously different levels from the first round pick, the 7th round pick, to the guy that's
Right.
a undrafted free agent guy,
Me.
and that league is like, okay, this is what, but the players, like that media you're talking about, they're trying to tell them, hey, look, y'all need to, do the same, not show up. But shoot, it's a one thing to, when you're a vet and you got vet money. Is another thing when you're a rookie, you barely making in, and you trying to make a name for yourself. So that's going to be a tough call. But obviously, at the end of the day, as a player, you got to do what you decide what you want to do, because even the vets, some of them's got workout bonus and whatnot. So they're not frowned upon if they showing up at the facilities and working out to go collect that money. People understand, but it's really going to be your call. And then one of the things that came out as well, one of the negatives from a player standpoint, if I don't go work out at facilities, is that one of the offensive tackle for the Denver Broncos, he got hurt training. I think towards Achilles, and now he was, now his salary for the season is in jeopardy. Wow. Because now the NFL they trying to strong on him like Ike Turner, like, hey, you didn't get hurt at the facility, so if you get hurt training on your own, hey, then it's considered non-football injury, right? Even though I'm training for football, it's a non-football injury, and you're not covered, so you're putting in jeopardy your salary for the year if you was get hurt. Wow. So they send a memo out to all the teams and the players, reminding them of the consequences. So they're trying to put that pressure on you,
Yeah. So one of the things you talked about that I thought about immediately, you said the different stages of careers, a veteran coming in more so maybe because they got their all season bonus that's attached to workout bonuses. Okay. But then a younger guy, like a rookie, 4th, 5th, 6th round pick, or undrafted free agent, that's a different animal. Especially, MB, here's one of the things that I don't know if you even thought about: free room and board.
Yeah.
Like for me, that was huge. Like anywhere else I was gonna go, I was gonna have to pay for it. So then I was gonna have to get a real job to pay for it.
Yeah.
Because the off season, obviously you won't get those all season checks, and they ain't enough anyway they ain't living wages checks
for
workouts. So just think about that, MB. So wherever I'm at, I gotta train, still gotta eat, I gotta support myself. So that's a whole different animal. Instead of being at the facility, working out, training, not having to worry about room and board, and still getting a little bit of, basically it ends up being a bit of a stipend, which is fine because you ain't got, at least for me, I didn't have any attachments. I was single and nobody to worry about. So it was plenty of money for me because I'm eating at the facilities and then I'm training at the facilities. So I don't need it. That right there is what I immediately thought about, MB. I was like, dang, what do they do? Because you ain't in college no more. They need them rooms. You ain't on scholarship no more. You gotta go.
You
gotta get off campus. That's not looked on well. Old head sit around campus. Now they welcome you with open arms as far as like in the training facility. So you'd actually still be able to work out with the team if you wanted to, or on your own at the facilities for free and all that good stuff. They love that. But like, where you gonna stay, LB? You can't be around here in people's dorm rooms.
Right. Well, I mean, if you're, like you say, every situation is different. So if you're making reference to that college person that already graduated, that's not on scholarship, if the guy, the rare exception is the guy that still haven't got his degree, then he'll have a chance to go ahead. If they don't, he could go ahead and say, okay, let me finish up, and they'll still keep him on payroll, let him finish. So let's say that. But you're talking about the guy who's already graduated and already say, look, I'm going pro. I'm not in school no more. I'm getting ready for that, which is majority of what they do, right? During that time.
Well, I was thinking about me. Like, I was looking at me like I was a senior. I was done. I couldn't live there no more on they dime.
But the guys who are seniors and not done and then graduated, you'll have a chance they'll still be in school. They have a chance. But you're right, majority of them are your situation. Because even if you're already done, a lot of dudes want to focus on getting ready for the combine.
Right.
So a lot of people take off that semester anyway if you're not done,
Right.
So
I gotta get a job.
Yeah, but you're right. Like that's what I'm saying. That decision, even though what I like collectively, each team came out with, okay, hey, we the Denver Broncos, Seattle Seahawks, they all made that call majority as a team, and we was keeping counts, 9, 10, 12 teams or whatever. I forgot what the total number was at the time. But even then, even though they made a decision as a team that we're not gonna participate, they understood also, even with them making a decision.
Oh man, my bad. I'm muted, MB. My bad.
Yeah. Okay. All right, you got it. So anyway, no, I like you said, you got to judge it individually, especially if you're a college student coming out, college guy, and you're not a first or second round pick, you try to make a name for yourself, man. It's going to be hard for you to opt out and say, no, I'm not going, because you want to get a head start. You want to get acclimated to the NFL. You want to go ahead and get the playbook. You want to get all those things going. And you want to get familiar with the coaches and all that stuff. And this stuff is so valuable,
Right.
I was, obviously, like last year, you look at it, and I was trying to see if I can come up with the number. I couldn't. I wanted to research and see how the effect of not having, that all season and being able to train in person, what type of effect it had on those rookies coming in, did that affect them playing right away? Obviously, they had training camp and all that, and they could make up for it. But just that time, the more time you get to spend, the more time you get acclimated with the system. So that way, you're not thinking about it. You're able to get on the field and react and play ball and do your thing. That's valuable. So, like I say, every situation is different, from the vet to the undrafted college player, or you got to make that decision what's best for you and your family.
And here's the other problem that I have with NFL, right? And that's the PA part, MB. So, number one, I feel like a guy like me would be overlooked in this situation. And then on this 4 o'clock call that happened already today, was the Morris Smith sitting there saying, "Hey, we've started a fund and we gonna make sure all the low draft picks and the undrafted free agents, we're gonna give them a stipend so they can take care of themselves during this time." Because I always thought the problem was when the CBA before then, when we were still involved, MB, that CBA before this last one, it was like everybody was getting paid and everybody's gonna make the same thing. And I'm like, but everybody ain't in the same situation. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that seems to always be missed by the NFLPA. That guys that are top earners and stuff like that, like this ain't gonna make or break me right now to still train at home and stuff like that, and then be able to come into training camp. But like a guy like myself, that's what I'm saying. Like I gotta go suit up for somebody job all the way up until training camp. You see what I'm saying? Like, and so I wonder, in this 4 o'clock call, were those type of dynamics discussed? Or are y'all sitting there saying, please don't go, rookies. Please don't go to minicamp. That's silly to me.
Nah, I highly doubt. I wouldn't part of that call, but I highly doubt if they got money set aside
I'm saying.
for that, for them to if they don't go, they still get paid a stipend. I'd case.
Right.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I got you.
Klew, did you hear me?
You said you doubt that they'll still have
so
a stipend.
I highly doubt it.
Yeah, and see, that's a problem for me though.
Yeah,
because you're gonna have a guy like
that.
me that say, I'm going. I don't care if I'm the only one there, MB, I'm on my way. Y'all send me my ticket up there. You know what I'm saying? Like, I work out by myself. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Right, and that's the thing. It's not going to be frowned upon, right? In that regards, just because they understand your situation, because each guy is different. Because even like I said, the teams that came out and said as a team we're not going, even those guys have gone. It's not like you crossing the picket line. They understand, like, okay, God, every situation is different. This guy got to go
think
eat.
It is. I think it kind of is crossing the picket line.
I don't know. From all the stuff that I read, I don't see the backlash from that from a player standpoint.
No,
because they understand this. this guy got a workout. Like, for example, guys like, okay, I understand this guy got a workout bonus. This guy get
right.
So they've been more sympathetic to what's going on and be like, okay, they understand. You know, I think from a team standpoint, they just came together and say, okay, as a team, this is what we're deciding. But we understand there's going to be some exception to the rule. Everything is different. So I don't know if it's in my opinion, I don't know if it's like crossing the picket line. And I think it's all based on who you are, though, too, though.
Exactly. That's where I was gonna go.
If you're a leader or something like
That's
that,
where I was gonna go.
and you don't need the funds, then I could see that part. But if you're somebody undrafted, got no finances, nobody getting your money, you try to make the team, nobody's gonna hate you because they know you got to go eat and take care of your family. You know.
But MB, in the past, I haven't followed contracts lately, but it was those type of guys that got those workout bonuses a lot.
You say what now?
So it was that type of guy, those type of guys that were in leadership roles who workout bonuses were attached to a lot of the time.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. So, you know, and listen, all of us want all of us to make your money. So I get that when you're saying, but at the same time, it's like, think about MB, how close we are on these teams. Man, my linebacker going, man, I'm going too. You know what I'm saying? That's my brother. I'm going with him. You know what I'm saying? That's what kind of stuff starts pulling together. And then think about it. If a top receiver, guess what? That quarterback, like, look, man, I need to be throwing to you. They got to feel like that. And what's going to happen? All the receivers going to be out there. Then the receivers out there, guess what? DBs want to get some work. You see what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. I think it has to be like a picket line, or else they gonna get practice either way. It's just one they gonna control and one they ain't gonna control. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's what I said. I think it's all different. It's different based on each team. Like you said, definitely that scenario could happen. But to me, it's the makeup of the team and how, because dude be like, man, I got to go get mine. And all right, man, I got you. You know, I got to work. Because it's been some situation like that. And based on everything I read, the indicator is like, okay, man, go get that money. We understand, you know. But so it all is based on the team, man. Who that person is, I think, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. Double A, you hit a little early. But this is our next topic. How do you feel about mandatory vaccine? And really, he's saying for training camp, but that's really for the entire team, you know, and for the entire season. And they got somebody on the record, MB, which I was super surprised. Bill GM said he would cut players who aren't vaccinated for COVID-19, baby. MB, he say he gonna cut you if you don't get it done.
Okay. Now hold on. Let's put some context to that. You
Man, I don't care about it, baby.
No, okay. So Brandon, this is what Brandon said. He said that so basically what's going on is based on, and looking at the NBA as well, or different leagues as far as like getting the centers, because the league came out and say, okay, we're not gonna mandatory or make people get vaccine, but we're highly encouraging everybody to get the vaccine. And then what they did was they gave some incentives. They're talking about getting incentives to teams based on a percentage amount of your players that had vaccine. And so basically one of the things, like, for example, if you got the vaccine that you're as a player, then you're not going to be required to take the daily COVID test. You don't have to take it. And then as a team, if a certain percentage of your team, and this is what they're working on, have been vaccinated, then now you can do more flexibility as far as meetings. You don't have to be so restricted and da 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 da. And so under that context, he was saying, man, if I had to cut a player who haven't had vaccine to get under that number, then I'll do that, because, man, having those meetings, having all those restrictions, having all that stuff, man, it was just bad. It was bad for business, you know?
Right.
So that in the context, that's what he was saying. So it's one of those things where, I mean, it's one of those, we're not making you, but I'm telling you, it's like you just talked about undrafted rookie or somebody low on the totem pole. All you thinking
Yeah.
with the general manager coming out and say something to whatever situation, you ain't trying to start with the stripe. You know what I'm saying? So it's gonna put some pressures on people based on who you are, what type of pull, what you it's gonna affect your decision. What I mean, if you're got a strong conviction not to take it, then you know what could be possibly be used against you. So that's what I got from the article.
Well, just like Double A kind of said, and what we just talked about the previous segment, MB, it boils down to it's voluntary. You know what I'm saying? We had remember we used to call it we going to involuntary voluntary mini camps. Like we call them
Right,
both of them because
right.
don't show up if you want to. You know what I mean? It was like everybody else gonna be here, so everybody gonna know you didn't show up, MB. Like
Mm-hmm.
everybody. Man, what's so? Oh, he ain't even come. Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, yeah,
You know
yeah,
what I mean?
yeah,
And that's how the vaccine gonna be. Like you're forcing them to get it by
yeah,
discussing stuff like this, by talking about this kind of stuff. And it's crazy because at the end of the day, it should be a choice. But here we go again at MB. I want to throw this out to you. This just popped up yesterday, MB. Warriors for Damian Lee, despite being fully vaccinated, still contracted COVID.
What?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh wow.
so
Huh.
so then what's your answer to that? When
Ooh.
that happens. But I don't know the frequency or anything like that. And that's one of the things that actually has been going on. And the numbers are lower and stuff like that, but it has been occurring where people
Oh, it
who have
has.
been vaccinated, yes, people who have been
Wow.
vaccinated are still contracting it. So that's
Oh
interesting.
man.
You
Are
know,
you serious?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's
So
crazy.
so that's where we are. This COVID thing obviously didn't go away, MB. We in year 2 of it. You know what I mean? And it's still
Wow.
here. We're still working through it. And the NFL is trying to make a stance and say, hey, we want to be a COVID-free league. And you don't have any choice. And I think, you're gonna have some guys rise up and say, hey man, I ain't doing that.
Yeah.
Or for whatever reason. And but like you said, depending on who you are, you got to do something that you really didn't want to do just
Yeah.
for the sake
Exactly.
of chasing your dream, especially if
Exactly.
you're a younger guy who have
Yep.
just hit it. Like older guys might be in a situation they say, you know what, man, it ain't worth it. I had
Right.
3 more years, but y'all can have them and
Right.
walk
Right.
away.
Right.
And
They opt
you know,
out just like last year. Dudes had to make a decision if I'm gonna opt out, and then is that going to be used against me?
uh-huh.
If I do, based on who you are. So yeah, no doubt, I agree.
Oh
I
man,
agree. It's a tough decision.
Double A say you can still get it. You just ain't gonna die.
Man, I did not know that. Golly.
Yeah, Damian Lee.
Wow.
Yep.
Steve says on the news right now. Yep, on the news right now. Wow.
Somebody just saw it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Steve, I
Oh,
wasn't in
okay.
Charlotte, man. I'm in Columbus, Ohio, brother. I'm in Ohio, man. I'm not in Charlotte right now. So when you came through, I'm not in he's saying he tried to holler at me right here. Mike, I was in Charlotte trying to catch up with you. Yeah, I'm in Ohio right now. I'm in Ohio, man. Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy, though.
So I think
Mm.
I think I think we're in the early stages of this, MB, of these tough decisions that now have to be made based on players, the league itself, and all the sports, to be honest with you, because we talked about a vaccine for the entire year of COVID. Now it's here. And now it's like, okay, now what? Because, in the beginning, tons and tons of people were getting vaccinated. And now, it's at least American wide, it done slowed down with people getting vaccinated. And so for whatever reason, that now they going. Heck, I read an article today, MB, saying they getting Nick Saban to do PSAs, and they called on LeBron earlier, and he said, "No, that's people's personal choice and decision. I don't really want to have a part in that."
Right.
And but they're pulling out all the stops. They're trying to get everybody involved because people aren't getting vaccinated. So
right.
if you take the professional leagues as a small portion of the greater country, then you're gonna have them same numbers probably that don't want to be vaccinated, whatever that number is. I'm not sure what that percentage looks like, but that percentage is going to exist in all these leagues as well. So what do you do? And I think that's where we are right now.
Well, and you're right, and I mean, you could tell in the beginning how they was trying to get certain people to endorse it, because the from a political standpoint, like Joe Biden, he they showing him getting the governors, they'll different states, they'll show them getting it, them and their mates. So to me, to me, it was just a natural progression. I knew they was going to try to get the athletes to endorse it and stuff like that, you know what I'm saying, to try to get people. And like Double A said, now they're requiring fans, right? If you want to come to a game, NFL requiring that fans be only fans that are vaccinated allowed to come, Yeah,
that's so interesting.
Yeah, so it's pushing. I mean, but you can tell even Krispy Kremes, man. They if you want a free donut, man, you can show your vaccinated card, man. So they're showing it. Yeah, they're trying to. I mean, so they're trying to get you from all different angles. They're pushing it to try to get vaccinated. So definitely. So it's not a surprise, when you say, far as now they're trying to get athletes and now people trying to. I mean, just think about it. Even college, right? Some colleges now are it's mandatory.
Duke said don't come back this fall.
Right.
Yeah,
so
unless you vaccinated up.
Right. So it's been mandatory, that you get that done, and so yeah. So you're right. So it's a lot of people being strong armed to get it done, and but I think one of the things that slowed it down when you talked about that, just my opinion, was people had apprehensions as well. But then when the Johnson & Johnson thing came about, the blood clot, that was whoa, wait a minute, that was a wake up call,
Wow, but yeah, you hit a nail on the head. So, saying about colleges as well, I think Rutgers was the first one that my wife actually showed me that with MB. They were the first ones to the table saying, "Don't come back here unless you're vaccinated." And that's interesting to me because I wonder how that affects. Again, that percentage exists in every area. So then how many kids that you recruiting? I said, well, we good. How many kids about to hit the transfer portal and say, I'm good? You see what I'm saying, LBD? There's ramifications for demanding this. And as a community, schools have decided, hey, it's more important for us to feel safe and be safe than to, in their minds, than to allow people to do what they want. Make their own choices and decisions.
Yeah, look at what Double A say: public health risk and insurance liability. I guess that he's saying that's the reason.
No way.
One of the reasons, right?
Yeah, I don't.
Is that what he's saying? One of the reasons? Is that what he's saying?
They can't be charged. I get the public health risk, but the insurance liabilities, no way. They won't be charged. This is a national type of thing. This ain't no Mercer that's only going on at your school. You know what I'm saying, LB?
Yeah.
Or
I think from I think what's it's going to be like public health, because before right, certain vaccines that you can opt out for religious reason. Now they're, from my understanding, they're taking away that as well, So I don't know a whole lot about it, but I think that's what's going on.
They can't touch that. You still can opt out. However, I don't know if you can opt out at these places that these kids are going. Are they down the middle? Because a place like Duke and Miami, they private, so they ain't got to really, you know what I mean?
Right.
They rules are different from everybody else. You a state school, they still got to honor that. So like a Rutgers really can't be 100%, you know, because they're a state school, they're a state
Yeah.
university funded by New Jersey. So that's a bit different. But yeah, these private schools can kind of put their foot down.
Let me ask you a question. I don't know if you prepared. We didn't talk about this, but what do you think about Aaron Rodgers? Is he going to opt out for Green Bay? Have you followed that at all?
So here's the funny part, and this is as much as I've been a part of it. So no is the quick answer. That I haven't been following it, but
Okay.
Pac Jam, I saw him when I was looking up something right before the show. He'll be on his Facebook. I saw on there that he had kind of like a late breaking news. Aaron Rodgers has now decided he has opted out of the Green Bay contract and is now joining the New York Nets, baby. And he
Joining
had him
the
in a
New York
Brooklyn.
what?
He had Nets. He had him in a the Brooklyn Nets. My bad. Had him in a
Brooklyn Nets.
Brooklyn uniform. Hey, MB, and that was so funny because I'm like, well, shoot, they got everybody else. Why not Aaron, baby? Go ahead,
Why
Aaron.
not?
so so that's my Aaron Rodgers. I believe he gonna opt out and go to Brooklyn, baby. I'll with Pac Jam. He going to Brooklyn, man. He trying
going
to
to
win him a
Brooklyn.
trophy.
He can help them out, huh?
Yeah.
Come
Hey,
off the bench, man, and throw a full court pass or something.
hey,
Do something, man.
exactly. We know he can pass, though.
Yeah, no doubt, man. No doubt. Nah. Yeah,
So
no doubt.
I'm sorry, LB, but that's my Aaron Rodgers, what I stole from Pac Jam.
No, it's all good. Yeah, I was just curious if you've been following that at all. Just based on who you talked to, he said it for a variety of reasons. Some people says, is contract or no, majority of you hear is issues with general manager not doing
Right.
enough to help them surround them with talent or whatnot. Who knows exactly what it is, But I was just curious to see because it's funny because this off season it started with quarterbacks and now it seems like it's ended with the quarterbacks, that something going on because with the movement of the quarterbacks and this and that, and we're talking about the voice and having a voice. And when you talk about what different people, at different positions from the undrafted guy to now you got the head of the franchise with the quarterback, the influence and power that we had, and we talked about that in the offseason, like Pat brought that up. As far as quarterback having a voice, want to be involved in the process and this and that. And so it seemed to me like this thing's been brewing because one of the things I read is that they didn't even, when they decided to draft Jordan Love, they didn't even give him a heads up,
Right.
And so that's if that's true, then that's disrespect because the same person said, shoot, when Minnesota Vikings drafted Mons from Texas A&M, they talked to Kirk Cousins, let him know, look, we drafted him. So if that happened, that's very disrespectful. And then just to build up and all that stuff. So who knows, man? I'm just curious to see how if he does want to get traded, if it is true, just where would be a good fit? What would have happened? Where could he end up?
Well, MB, obviously, if I'm Seattle, I'm trying to talk to him. I'm talking their head off. If I'm Seattle, and all of a sudden, it's if you Houston, you want to talk to anybody except for now y'all done made the man toxic waste. So nobody's going anywhere near Houston right now. But anybody, you never know. Bill, boy, he saved picks, he saved money. Bill Belichick may be trying to go back door and make a run at him. You just never know. But I'm sure that Rodgers is definitely has his 2 or 3 teams picked, and that's all he talking to. Even now, I guarantee you, because you know how them agents, you can't talk, but they talk.
Right, right, right. Yeah, they let you know, look, we're trying to make this happen, you know? And I'm sure, I mean, even like the rumor was like San Fran, I mean, before the draft, before they made their pick, they were trying to make something happen, you know, trying to get it done. So definitely, you know, you talk about Seattle. The only thing, you know, you think in that situation, because you got this guy, this young guy, they spent the first round pick on, right? And so you're thinking, okay, because you talk about the swap for, say, if you do Seattle, then now you got Russell Wilson and whoever, whatever, and you do the swap. But now you got this young guy, Jordan Love, that you don't invest in a first round pick that you trade up to get. So what is that? You know, like, if you trade Aaron Rodgers, I think at the most part, you may want to get like a quality stopgap if you think this guy is the savior, you know? You wouldn't, because then now if you get Russell's younger, so now you basically saying, okay, I got Russell, I made a trade, but then this Jordan Love, what you gonna do with him? You know what I'm saying?
Right. What is it? 2 years left on Aaron's deal?
I think so.
So I mean, if they were into Jordan Love being the guy, I mean, why not pull the trigger now? Why Aaron value is still what it is? You know, 2 years from now, anything happens. But right now, you could have got a lot for him. So my answer to that, I don't know if they still believe what they believed before the draft last year, right now, today, about Jordan Love. That's just me.
Yeah, well, to me, and that may be true, right? Because the thing, I think what we just talked about earlier, when you talk about a rookie coming in, just think last year it was all virtual, right? The first time they physically able to work with this kid is doing training camp, and then they have no preseason game, right? And then now you're throwing the season. I think he was third team on the depth chart, so at least you had the season kind of to see what he could do, but he really haven't been in a lot of bullets at all, you know?
Right.
So to me, it's still a huge question mark to some degree, what he can do, you know? So
but again, a franchise guy like Aaron Rodgers, and you know what we first heard in the beginning was money, right, MB? We heard it was money. The first thing about Aaron Rodgers that came out.
I think it wasn't enough guaranteed or something like that.
Right.
Yeah.
So he got 2 years left. He wants more money. You won't commit to him. So, you know, like, what are we doing? This is the part right here, MB, that I'm always like, wow, like, who gets these jobs, how and why? Because it's really simple to me.
You said what?
If you're not going to commit to this guy, then get something for him. You know what I mean? It's real simple. Like, I'm going to get something for you so that at least, you know, at the end of the day, I'll walk away with nothing empty-handed, and I got to find another you, basically, or add to these weapons I got because you're gone, because we can darn near get to the Super Bowl with a little nothing because of you. Well, now I got to find the rest of them pieces for this new guy.
Well, for me, like, I knew, like, once he had the year MVP season he had, man, he got all the power. He forced their hand, because now it's like, hey, pay me or trade me. You know, if it is about the money, he forced their hand to commit to me long term, regardless of I ain't tell you to draft that dude first round. You know what I'm saying? So once he had that MVP season, man, unless they feel like the Jordan Love is Patrick Mahomes, right? By him having that MVP season, he got all the power, and I was like, man, he got the power. He could force their hand. He could force them to pay him, and they got to force his hand. And that's basically, if money is the key, to me, that's based on the year he had. it's not like, oh, he had just a normal year so he can go year to year. No, he had the MVP season. So because of that season, he can go back to the table and say, pay me, you know? And that put a lot of pressure on them because now you don't want to be the guy that trade Aaron Rodgers off of MVP season and you still got question marks for this Jordan Love, you know? So I don't know. That's just my thoughts on it.
I sure would have tried to move him before the draft. Get me some picks and some bets. I would have been making some deals before that. But they are where they are because they deserve to be there because they done dropped the ball like that, MB. We sure appreciate y'all, man. Pulling up, stopping through, hollering at us because you know us. You see your boy Steve said he got all the money. Let me hold $20.
Yeah, I saw Steve crazy.
So we appreciate y'all. From Sideline, the baseline with MB and Klew, we are gone.
Peace.